Picture this. Celebrities stumbling down runways in outfits that cost more than your house, desperately clinging to relevance, while cameras capture every awkward moment. Paris Fashion Week just wrapped up, and honey, the tea is scalding hot. From Kim Kardashian's painfully slow runway walk that had people comparing her to a drunk person sneaking into a hotel for free breakfast, to Lauren Sanchez carrying a $6,000 coffee cup purse made from baby cow skin, this season served us more chaos than couture. And don't even get me started on the male models strutting around with fake double D chest pieces, or the streamers getting into physical fights in the streets. If you're ready for the most unhinged breakdown of Fashion Week drama, hit that subscribe button because we're diving deep into the mess that was Paris 2024. The City of Light became the City of Fights this season, and Kim Kardashian kicked things off by absolutely destroying any credibility Balenciaga had left. Walking down their runway like she was trudging through quicksand, Kim managed to make $250,000 worth of diamonds look cheap and tired. The woman who built an empire on looking flawless somehow forgot how to put one foot in front of the other. People in the comments were brutal, saying she walked like someone trying to appear sober at 2 in the morning, or like a mom sneaking back inside after smoking outside. The front row wasn't even looking at her, which tells you everything you need to know about how captivating this performance was. What made it even more embarrassing was when Kim was caught Googling herself on her phone between outfit changes. The screen was conveniently turned outward, so everyone could see her searching for herself online, desperately trying to see if people were talking about her latest look. Some people think this was intentional, a pathetic attempt to get more people to search for her outfit, but honestly, it just made her look more obsessed with her own image than anyone thought possible. The woman literally cannot go 5 minutes without checking if the world is paying attention to her. Meanwhile, the internet was going crazy over an AI video that showed Kim supposedly stealing a $10 million Birkin bag. The original Birkin had just sold at auction for that astronomical price, and somehow people got convinced that Kim had actually purchased it. The fake video showed her breaking into wherever the bag was stored and making off with it like some kind of high-fashion heist movie. Of course it wasn't real, and Kim definitely didn't spend $10 million on a purse because she prefers when other people buy her expensive things. But the video got so much attention that major news outlets started reporting on it as if it might be true. The real drama started brewing when Kim reportedly had a complete meltdown at a recent wedding event because Sydney Sweeney was getting more attention than her. Sources say Kim was used to being the center of attention everywhere she went, but watching a 26-year-old actress steal her spotlight sent her into a spiral. She spent the entire evening watching Sydney dance with Tom Brady until 2 in the morning, while Orlando Bloom also seemed more interested in the younger actress than in Kim. This was particularly painful for Kim because she had been linked to both of these men romantically in recent months. Tom Brady and Kim had supposedly been dating back in 2023, but seeing him completely ignore her in favor of Sydney must have stung. Then Orlando Bloom showed up to the event without Katy Perry after their recent split, and instead of gravitating toward Kim, he was also drawn to Sydney's magnetic presence. Kim left that wedding feeling completely deflated, realizing that her days as the ultimate it girl might be numbered. The insider sources painted a picture of someone desperately trying to recapture relevance in a world that was moving on without her. Speaking of people desperately trying to stay relevant, Lauren Sanchez somehow managed to weasel her way into multiple Paris Fashion Week events, probably because her husband Jeff Bezos can write any check to get her into any room she wants. Lauren showed up carrying a $6,000 Balenciaga clutch that was designed to look like a coffee cup. The bag is made from calf skin, which means baby cow leather, and it has a brass lid with a functional clasp. The whole thing is supposed to look like a disposable paper coffee cup, but it costs more than most people's cars. The level of disconnect from reality that it takes to carry around a baby cow skin coffee cup that costs $6,000 while pretending to be relatable is truly something to behold. But Lauren wasn't the most desperate celebrity trying to get attention at Fashion Week. That honor goes to Lisa Rinna, who has been spiraling through various attempts to recapture her Real Housewives glory days. Lisa showed up wearing what can only be described as a sleeping bag with a terrible haircut, claiming it was couture Balenciaga while looking like she raided the clearance section of Bed Bath & Beyond. The woman was literally carrying around what looked like a blue garbage bag and trying to convince people it was high fashion. The comments on social media were asking what had happened to her and begging her to please stop trying so hard for attention. The theory is that Lisa is desperately trying to get back on Real Housewives because that show represented the peak of her career, but her current antics are making that comeback look less and less likely. She's become one of those celebrities who shows up to events just to be photographed, regardless of whether she actually belongs there or has any reason to be present other than her own need for attention. On a more positive note, Cardi B actually managed to bring some genuine excitement and artistry to the Fashion Week chaos. She showed up to multiple events looking genuinely happy and confident, which was refreshing after all the desperate attention-seeking from other celebrities. One of her most striking looks involved posing with a live crow, which was honestly a little spooky, but definitely got people talking. The bird gave off some serious mystical energy, and many people interpreted it as a message to her ex-husband Offset about her new independence and power. Cardi also wore an incredible floral outfit that must have been incredibly difficult to move in, considering all the three-dimensional flowers attached to the dress. Sitting down would have been nearly impossible, but she looked radiant and genuinely joyful in the photos. People in the comments were saying that leaving Offset had clearly done wonders for her confidence and creative direction. She seemed like someone who was finally free to explore her artistic vision without having to consider anyone else's opinions or limitations. Other celebrities had mixed results with their Fashion Week appearances. Katy Perry showed up looking like a high school principal in a stiff black business outfit that did absolutely nothing for her. The look was so severe and unflattering that people wondered if she had fired her entire styling team. Nicole Kidman went for a similar vibe with another big black coat situation that seemed to be the unofficial uniform of the week. Everyone was wearing these oversized black coats that made them look like they were heading to a funeral rather than a celebration of fashion and creativity. Gracie Abrams, the singer who always sounds like she never opens her mouth while performing, actually had one of the more weather-appropriate outfits since temperatures in Europe have been brutal lately. Her simple look was understated compared to some of the more outrageous attempts at viral moments, but at least she looked comfortable and practical while everyone else was melting in their heavy designer pieces. The runway shows themselves were equally chaotic and questionable. One designer decided to have their male models wear fake double D chest pieces made of latex, while female models wore plastic male appendages. The whole thing felt like a desperate attempt to go viral rather than any kind of meaningful artistic statement. People in the audience and online were asking how this qualified as fashion and pointing out that women's bodies shouldn't be treated like costumes for shock value and entertainment. The Rick Owens show took things to another level by having models swim through water to reach the runway before walking around in those same stiff black coats that everyone seemed to be wearing. Models were soaking wet and uncomfortable, trudging around in heavy fabric that must have felt terrible against their skin. The whole thing felt more like an endurance challenge than a fashion presentation, and people were commenting that models go through way too much for Rick Owens' shows specifically. These kinds of stunts highlight how far Fashion Week has fallen from its original purpose. What used to be about showcasing innovative designs and setting trends for the upcoming season has turned into a circus, where designers compete to create the most outrageous, viral moment. With fast fashion brands copying everything instantly and social media demanding constant content, the focus has shifted from craftsmanship and artistry to shock value and clickbait headlines. Even the street style outside the shows was chaotic. A live streamer named JCO found himself in a physical altercation when a fan demanded a photo and wouldn't take no for an answer. The situation escalated quickly when the fan started physically grabbing the streamer, leading to a scuffle that was captured on camera. Security seemed more focused on restraining the streamer than stopping the aggressive fan, which created even more tension and confusion. The whole incident highlighted how volatile these events can become when you mix desperate fans, social media pressure, and celebrities who are already on edge from the intense scrutiny. The Fashion Week also revealed some interesting dynamics between established stars and rising talent. The way Kim Kardashian reportedly reacted to Sydney Sweeney getting attention shows how fragile these celebrity egos really are. When your entire identity is built around being the most famous person in any room, watching someone younger and more talented naturally command that attention must be devastating. It's like watching the changing of the guard happen in real time, and not everyone is handling the transition gracefully. Sanchez's desperate attempts to insert herself into every photo opportunity and event showed another side of celebrity culture. Having unlimited money doesn't automatically grant you relevance or respect, and her obvious social climbing was painful to watch. The $6,000 coffee cup purse perfectly embodied everything wrong with luxury culture, where the price tag matters more than the actual design or craftsmanship. But perhaps the most telling aspect of this fashion week was how few people seemed genuinely excited to be there. Most of the celebrities looked bored, tired, or uncomfortable in their designer outfits. The magic and glamour that used to surround these events has been replaced by obligation and performance anxiety. Everyone knows they're being photographed and judged constantly, so spontaneous joy or authentic expression becomes nearly impossible. Cardi B stood out specifically because she seemed to actually be enjoying herself rather than enduring another publicity obligation. Her genuine happiness and confidence were so rare in this environment that they became the most refreshing part of the entire week. She proved that you can still bring personality and authenticity to these events if you're secure enough in yourself to ignore the pressure to conform to everyone else's expectations. The contrast between authentic celebrities like Cardi and desperate ones like Lisa Rinna couldn't have been more obvious. One was there to celebrate creativity and express herself artistically, while the other was clearly just trying to get photographed and talked about online. The difference in energy and reception was night and day, proving that audiences can instantly tell when someone is being genuine versus when they're just performing for attention. This fashion week ultimately felt like a perfect representation of celebrity culture in 2024. Some stars are adapting and finding new ways to stay relevant while others are clinging desperately to past glory. The ones who succeed are those who can evolve with the times and find authentic ways to connect with audiences, while those who fail are stuck repeating the same tired formulas that worked decades ago but feel completely out of touch today. The fashion itself became secondary to the drama surrounding the people wearing it. Instead of discussing innovative designs or artistic vision, everyone was talking about who looked ridiculous, who was trying too hard, and who managed to create genuine moments of beauty or excitement. This shift says something important about where we are as a culture and what we value in our entertainment and artistic expressions. As we look ahead to future fashion weeks, it will be interesting to see whether the industry can find its way back to focusing on actual fashion rather than just celebrity spectacle. The most successful moments from this week were when genuine artistry and authentic personality combined to create something beautiful and meaningful. Maybe that's the lesson we should take from all this chaos. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the messiest fashion week in recent memory, make sure to subscribe for more unfiltered celebrity analysis and cultural commentary that cuts through the nonsense to give you the real story behind the headlines.